Hello, this is Joshua, the tendonitis expert. And the topic of this video is that there's only two kinds of tendonitis. And I'm not talking Achilles tendonitis, wrist tendonitis, whiplash, plantar fasciitis, etc. I'm talking about category-wise. There's only two different types of tendonitis. It's not really official, but conceptually it's important to understand the difference between the two. And the difference is, between the two types, is that you either have tendonitis with damage or you have tendonitis symptoms without damage. Now, if you go to the page below, you'll see the link right here, and or just read the content on the page. It'll go into this in detail. It'll say a lot more about it and tell you everything you need to know. But specifically this video, what I want you to get is the difference between the two and a little bit of what to think about it. So you either have symptoms with damage or without damage. And you can have just as much pain, just as much limitation, just as much debilitation, just as much problem with either of the two. And there's specific reasons for that. And that's what you'll find on the page. So, if you have pain, it doesn't mean that you're injured, per se. In this culture, we've been taught that if there's pain, there must be damage. But in the situation of tendonitis, such is not the case. You can have all sorts of pain and not have any actual damage. So here's an example of that. So, if you were to take your finger and pull on it gently for 6 months, I promise it would start to hurt. And it would hurt a lot. You're not damaging anything, nothing's hurt, nothing's torn, nothing's ripped apart, but you would feel pain. So the reason you have pain is, aside from the specific factors that cause it, is irritation. You have damage, or you have irritation, or you have both. So if you're worried about the fact that you're damaged, you might want to rethink that a little bit, because just because you feel pain doesn't mean that there's any damage. So the irony is the treatment for the two is the same. If you have damage or if you don't have damage, the way to get rid of your symptoms is the same. Even though there's damage, you really don't need to treat it any differently. You need to get rid of the inflammation, you need to get rid of the muscle tightness, you need to get rid of the connective tissue constriction, you need to calm down the nervous system's defensive mechanism that gets all on edge and makes things extra painful. You have to do all those things anyway. And if you do have actual damage on any particular spot, that can be dealt with just as easily. So check out the information on the page and get to work. It might be easier to get rid of your pain than you think.